All right, so we're finishing day number 35 here in the simulator, up with a small win of $96.66, which is a net ROE of just over 2%. And my accuracy is pretty bad. But before I get into this day, I will mention that I definitely dropped the ball a little bit yesterday. I told myself once I closed my day, which was a loser of $134, I thought I'm going to wait until later to make the recap because I wanted to go out for lunch. And then after I went out for lunch, that ended up turning into a bunch of other outings, and I didn't end up getting home until 12:30 at night. And I didn't actually log my trades before I left for lunch, which was where I dropped the ball. And the thing with DAS Trader in the simulator is your trades are not saved. Once midnight hits, all of the information gets erased. So because I didn't log my trades, I didn't have the information waiting for me when I got home. So the only thing that I know for sure, based on my opening equity today, is that I lost $134.23 yesterday. I took a massive loss on DRIO at the start of the day, and then I rebuilt with a couple of solid trades thereafter. But all this is to say that because I don't have official guaranteed data, I'm not sure that I'm going to even really count these trades. I haven't written them in my trade log. They're completely absent from there. But at the same time, I don't want to pretend like this losing day didn't happen. So for now, as you can see on my daily results here, I just have it blank except for the net P&L, which I put in myself. So once again today, I do have a lot to do today, and I know for sure that I'm going to be coming home late. It's a really good friend of mine's birthday tonight, and there's definitely going to be some debauchery taking place. So I'm going to have to run through this recap a little bit because I do have to be out the door in about 45 minutes. And as for the previous day, day number 34, like I said, I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to handle this yet. I do at least have the net P&L, so that's okay. But I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to deal with it. It's definitely something I'm going to deal with at a later time, probably at the weekend. So as we switch over to my trade log here with the 3 trades from today highlighted at the bottom, I do think that today was very similar to yesterday in that I took too much risk and I found myself losing a lot of dollars on small positions. Like the one that made me close the day here was EDNT, which is a trade where I misread the level 2. I then followed that up with another sloppy mistake, and as a result, I lost over 48 cents per share on a 500 share position, which put me in the red $246, and my position size was only 1,340. So that's a really significant loss, and that for me was the cue to close the day. And if I open up my broker screen here, you'll see that that's not where it ended. I did take some practice trades thereafter. I took 3 practice trades, and they were all winners. So this P&L, this isn't my actual result. But switching back to the trade log here, you'll see that my first trade of the day, well, first of all 3 of my trades took place pre-market. That's a relevant detail. And my first trade was a pretty quick loss of $100, 10 cents per share. I met my stop on I guess what's questionable. I'm not 100% sure if I really, dislike this trade. I think the setup did have potential, but in any case, it went south, and I found myself stopping out there. And then I followed it up with a trade on my good old buddy KOD, where I took a really heavy position, and I also did something I don't normally do, which is average down. My first entry was at 53.35, and then I took another one. Hold on, I forget the actual entry. I added at 51.50, so I was down almost $2 at the time that I added on and averaged down. And the reason for that was I didn't believe the drop, and slash I thought that the bid support that I saw in the low 51s was going to be exactly enough to bring it back up. And I did start with a very wide stop on this anyway. It's not like I would have stopped out on this trade if I had just held it, but adding on was a fairly risky play because, it doubles the amount of exposure, and I'm doing it at a time where my trade is reds, which, is not something I normally feel comfortable doing. And that brought my risk up to, I believe, about $280 altogether on the trade. And you can see I booked 453, which, it's a decent result. I'm not complaining. But I think I could have done better on this by waiting on my initial entry. And then, as I stated already, I took a trade on EDNT, which was just absolutely awful. On the entry, I got 18 cents of slippage due to inattention. and I surpassed my stop on the exit by about 20 cents. So I definitely didn't do well on this, and I really wasn't happy with just the way the whole day was going. I felt like it was just headed in the wrong direction. And if we switch over to my practice trades, you'll see that, I did take these three here to follow it up, and I did add, I guess, $268 to the P&L. So maybe I would have done the same thing on these trades. But something really noteworthy here is that one of them, the one on KOD right here, the first, this was definitely would have never taken place in my simulator. This was me trying a different strategy that I wouldn't normally take. It was what I would call an intraday swing. It was a much longer term hold, and I knew going in that it was going to be a much longer term hold. And that's not something that I'm normally comfortable doing. So this was very much me just trying to get familiar with a strategy where I don't have a lot of experience, which is, part of the reason why I have these two accounts running side by side. So altogether, over the last 2 days, I have to say I'm not super impressed with my behavior. I was really happy with what I did on Monday. I thought that trade on KOD was just excellent, and I was really happy about that. And then, despite having a lot of opportunities yesterday, I just blasted myself in the foot early in the day by taking a really big loss on DRIO. If you go look at the charts from yesterday, you'll see a massive drop coming out of the $11 area and dropping into like $8 and something, and I got caught in that brutal drop. And I tried to make it better by averaging down again. That's 2 days now that I averaged down. And unlike today, where I was able to repair the trade, yesterday it just kept getting worse, and so I had to stop out pretty quickly following that add-on. And that ended up, I think my P&L on that name was something like 450 into the red. And I did have two winners before that, so the damage at that time, I put myself in the red on the day by like $380. And then I found a halt resumption on a name that I forget now, and I crushed it on that one, got about $300 back, and had a few other middling results and decided to close thereafter. And so all that put together made for a red day of $134. And at the time that I closed, I was like, oh, thank goodness I only lost $134, because I feel like I really deserve to have a bigger one. It reminded me a lot of this day right here, where I had a positive result, but I thought my behavior was terrible. Well, this was another case where I thought I should have done worse, and I did not. And so when I see that kind of behavior, I really feel like I need to take a step back. And so when I saw myself repeating it today, instead of trying to push through it and trying to get aggressive and deal with it by getting involved with other things, I thought, what, let's just cut this off before the bell and close the day at, I think it was like 9:09 that I took my last trade, and just continue the day with practice trades and see if I can learn something, because I don't like to end on a negative note. Whenever I have a red day, I really try to have some practice trades to see how good my ability to work my way out of a hole is. And today, that's exactly what I did. Even though today's a green day, I felt like it was red behavior. And so I decided to keep trading with those ones in my practice account. So what I'm going to say to close here is that I'm approaching the end of my simulator subscription. I believe it's December 6th or 7th is the last day. So this week is going to be the last week of this simulator. And at that time, I'm going to have to make a decision as to whether or not I'm going to continue in the simulator or whether I'm going to go live. Now, I'll just throw in a note that I'm almost 100% sure that I'm not going to be going live right away. And I will discuss that in a separate video, the reasons for that in a separate video. There are a couple things that just came at me in the recent weeks, a few pieces of information that have made me think, no, I need to do this again with more difficult circumstances. So I don't really believe that I'm ready to enter the situation that I'm about to enter, and I will get into that in another video. And one more note too about other videos is that, like I said, this simulator is going to be ending soon. That's going to give me more time in the day to work on trade-related stuff. And if I don't have to be making recaps, then it's going to allow me to make a lot of the support videos that I've been struggling with for months and that I can't seem to find time for. So just a passing note on that. And that's going to be it for this one, guys. So until next time, man, this is Alex saying happy trading.